Hi everyone, my name is Patrick Anderson, and today we're going to talk about the Murph. The Murph is done every Memorial Day at a lot of CrossFit affiliates across the nation, and it's done in honor of Lieutenant Micheal Murphy, who died in service of our country as a Medal of Honor recipient. You can watch a video about him at a link above. The Murph is one of Lieutenant Micheal Murphy's favorite workouts. Apparently he called it body armor because he would do it with body armor on. So what the Murph actually is a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and another mile run. And if you want to do it in honor of Micheal Murphy, you can wear a 20-pound weight vest for men and a 14-pound weight vest for women. Today we're going to talk about some of my tips and strategies for doing the Murph. I've done it a couple of times. I actually haven't done it the past 3 years due to scheduling conflicts and shoulder surgery. So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to, is trying out my repaired shoulder and seeing how I get through doing the Murph. And this is going to be the first time I'm going to try it with the weight vest. So I'm by no means an expert, but here are some tips and strategies I think could help you get through, as well as I'm going to try to use to get myself through this. You have to do a 1 mile run at the beginning and end, but in between the push-ups and pull-ups and air squats, you can do any manner that you want as long as you get them all done. What most people do is they do 20 rounds of what CrossFitters know as Cindy. So that's 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats, and they do 20 rounds of that. That's what I've done the past 2 times that I've done it, and it works out pretty well. Another one that a lot of people do that I'm thinking about trying this year is called the leg saver. You're breaking it up in a similar fashion. You're going to do 5 pull-ups, 5 push-ups, but you're going to do 20 air squats. And what happens is after your first 15 rounds, you're done with the air squats. So your final 5 rounds are just pull-ups and push-ups, but then when you're ready for the second run, your legs are a little bit fresher. So I might give that a try this year, and we'll see how that goes. If you look online, you can find a bunch of other methods for getting through it, but those are 3 of the more common ones. Some people try to do it as a chipper workout, which means they do all 100 pull-ups before they do 200 push-ups, before they do 300 air squats. Some people do 50 rounds, which is a lot of counting. Some people do 33 rounds, and then at the end they have a mini round of 1 pull-up, 2 push-ups, 3 air squats. However you break it up is up to you. One of the things that I look at is what is going to be your weak spot. So if air squats are your weak spot, find a method that will help you get through those. So what are some tips to just get through the workout? One of the things that I think about is, like, a lot of people say start out on the first run and go at a very slow pace because you're going to have to do a lot of stuff when you get back into the gym. I think of it as like, well, when that first gun goes off, you have a lot of adrenaline. Use that adrenaline, go at a fairly brisk pace. As you get closer to the end of the mile, that's when you want to slow down and then catch your breath and be ready to hit the pull-ups as soon as you get back into the gym. As you're going through the different rounds, you may start to get fatigued, especially when you get 15, 16, 17 rounds. One bit of advice is, if you're starting to struggle with the pull-ups, don't try and bang out that 1 or 2 extra pull-up. If you hit 3 pull-ups and you get tired, just drop down, shake it out, jump right back up and do the last 2, or do 1 at a time. If you get to the point to where you're completely fatigued, what's going to happen is you're going to drop down, you're going to take a longer break, and then you just were hanging on the bar for no reason and getting more and more tired trying to get that 1 last pull-up. Same thing goes for the push-ups. If you start to get fatigued doing the push-ups, don't try to bang out 2 or 3 extra push-ups. Go ahead and take a rest. And if you take a rest, don't get into the plank position and just stay up there and try to catch your breath and try to rest your arms in that position. Go down to the floor, take your arms out, move them around, rest in the bottom position on the push-ups. Another thing that I've learned over the past couple of years, and this is mostly due to the recovery from my shoulder surgery, is you can do slight variations in all of these movements to give yourself a break. And what I mean by that is, as you're doing the pull-ups, if your arms are getting tired, what you can do is you can sort of shift over to one side and you use your stronger arm a little bit more than the weaker arm. And even if you have pretty equal arms, just shifting slightly can help give one arm a break, so that when you're reaching that fatigue point, you can continue a little bit faster. Same thing with the push-ups. When you do push-ups, you have your very strict, correct push-up position, but there's so many different ways to do the push-ups. You can bring your hands in a little bit more, you can put them up a little bit higher, down, move around slightly, and as you're getting fatigued, that slight variation in your stance can help delay the fatigue from setting in. Of course, one of the things you don't think about until you start getting tired is what round are you on? Simple way to get around that is just use something to count. An easy one that most people use is playing cards. Just grab out 20 playing cards and just keep flipping them over. Don't worry about if you're on round 11, 12, 13. When you flip over that last card, you're done. One word of caution, don't make the mistake I did. I had the idea 3 years ago. I was going to count with M&Ms, and I thought I would eat an M&M every round, and at the end of when all the M&Ms were gone, then I would be done. But after about 12 rounds, those M&Ms did not taste too good going down, and was not the best ideas, and I ended up just kicking them to the side versus eating them. So if you're trying to survive the Murph, if you've never done this before, keep in mind that it's just a workout. It's just something that's written up on the board. Just as any workout, you can scale it to meet your physical needs and your physical condition. If you have a shoulder injury, you can modify for that. Some of the different ways of modifying it, instead of doing pull-ups, you can do TRX rows, or you can use a band to do the pull-ups. If you're struggling with the push-ups, you can use your knees. So if you're trying to survive the Murph, if you've never done this before, keep in mind that it's just a workout. It's just something that's written up on the board. Just as any workout, you can scale it to meet your physical needs and your physical condition. If you have a shoulder injury, you can modify for that. Some of the different ways of modifying it, instead of doing pull-ups, you can do TRX rows, or you can use a band to do the pull-ups. If you're struggling with the push-ups, you can use your knees. Squats can be a difficult one to modify, but if you use a box, so when you get to the bottom position, you sit on a box and then stand back up, it gives you a little bit of a break, makes it a little bit easier on the knees. If nothing else, you can do a half Murph or a quarter Murph. The main idea is you want to do a tough workout, but you don't want to be destroyed afterwards. So you can still honor Lieutenant Murphy and all those that sacrifice for our country without crippling yourself for the rest of the week. So that's it. There's lots of other information and tips out there. I'll probably post a little bit of an update after the Murph on Monday, and I hope everybody gets to give it a try, and hope you have a great time.